She signed me out and everything. I hate when people sign me out.
Maybe one day you'll interview me when I'm famous and you're a journal and we can compare later.
So you're gonna be famous. Students. I'm never letting her use those again.
She didn't even ask because it was the him when I was reading the questions and she just went over and answered.
No, she asked me.
Oh, did she?
I didn't know she was gonna sign me out. Goldie.Miller at students.lincoln.k12.or.us. So why isn't it working?
Do I look at you or do I look at me?
Either one. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
I think I'll look at you.
That's probably a good idea.
Can I sit right here?
Nope. Okay, so how old are you?
18.
Nice. What grade are you in?
12. Second.
How long have you been going to Taft?
Since 7th grade.
With a break. How long was the break?
1 semester. 6 months.
Break. And what year was that? Like, what grade were you in?
It was the end of sophomore year.
Okay, so, and who was Joe?
To me?
Yeah. Like, a little bit of background of, like, him. Like, him and who you guys were.
He was a student at Taft High School, and we were in band together for a few years, and we became friends. And after we had been friends for a while, we started dating.
Okay. And what is your favorite memory?
I probably couldn't pick a single favorite memory because they were just all so special to me now. Probably just sitting in his car at the beach talking because that's when we got to know each other.
And how old was he when he found out he had a heart problem?
He was born with a heart problem. He had his first open heart surgery when he was 2 years old. And he had always known he had a heart condition. He couldn't play full contact sports. So he decided not to play any at all. He had always known.
And how old was he when he passed away? How old were you? And what was his relationship like with God?
He always went to church when he was at his dad's house. His dad lived in Canton. And he had a very, very strong relationship with God. Always praying, very thankful for his relationship. Very, very strong.
And so, how did you guys meet? Through band?
Yeah, we met in band class.
And what instruments did you play?
He played the drums, and I played the
Drums. That's what I heard. How old were you when you guys met?
Well, when we met, we were in band for freshman year, so like 14 or 15 when we met.
And so that would make him a sophomore?
Yeah. Well, we didn't actually meet, but I had a major schoolgirl crush on him when I was in 7th grade, and he was in 8th grade. And I always had a crush on him, but I never told anyone because I didn't want him to find out. I've come to find out he had a crush on me starting freshman year.
So he had a crush on you.
We had both kind of admired each other from afar and didn't know.
That's funny. So, what was your first date?
On our first date, we had been talking for a while, and we went to the mall and we walked around, and then he told me he was gonna take me somewhere, but I couldn't know, and we went to Rosemary Beach, and we walked on the beach for a few hours, and we just talked and kind of got to know each other. We wrote in the sand that we had feelings for each other. We could each close our eyes and look in the sand.
Oh.
And told each other we liked each other. And his car got broken into again. And his report is stolen. Along with his backpack and school pictures and a winter jacket. And both of our phones were dead, so we couldn't do anything about it.
That sucks.
Made for funny memories.
Alright, and then your guys' last date.
The day before his surgery, we went to Zoo Lights at the Oregon Zoo with his mom and stepdad and my stepmom and two sisters. And we went to Zoo Lights.
And was there like a specific moment that you remember?
Yeah, it's because my stepmom, like, it was kind of just new to her that we were dating, and so he had asked me, or she asked me to go walk Katie in the stroller, my sister, and I remember we had just gotten out of sight of our parents, and he grabbed my arm and pulled me around and kissed me. That was the last kiss.
And did anything like strange happen that night to make you like, now that you look back on it, did anything like happen?
His mom had talked about the paperwork she had signed that said that there was a chance of death in the procedure, and that she hesitated before she signed it, but didn't.
So there was a chance.
There's always a chance of death in surgery. You have to always sign a waiver. She had told me that she read the waiver and hesitated, but still signed it, just like, it was normal for hers.
What was your guys' last conversation through like text or in person?
In person was just Zoo Lights with our families, and then we texted all that night until I fell asleep, and I woke up, it was really strange because I didn't have school the next morning because it was winter break, and so I woke up like out of nowhere, just sat straight up in bed, and it was just like an hour before the surgery, so we got to write then until I jumped over.
And why was he having surgery? Just because of his heart problems?
He had had a stent replacement just a month before that I was there for, and they couldn't get the stent in properly, so they had to do a open heart surgery to replace the valve because he needed a new valve. You have to, once you have an artificial valve or a heart problem, you have to get it replaced after surgery.
And how long were you guys dating before the surgery?
We had been talking for a few months, and we had only been like officially dating for 3 months.
And how close were you to his family before he had passed away?
We were really close to I was really close to his family. His mom kind of took me in, and we'd spent a lot of time together. We went out and did things, saw movies, and it was nice. It was like I just kind of fit in.
And how did the doctors think the surgery went at first?
Well, I wasn't there during like the surgery because they said after he was going to be on a ventilator, and they didn't want me to see it like that. So I waited at my parents' house, and she called me right after he got out, and the doctor had told her that it was the perfect textbook surgery, that it was flawless, and he would be up and awake in about 15 minutes to talk to everyone. So they thought it was just everything's perfectly fine.
And so what exactly went wrong in the surgery?
Well, to my knowledge, that one of the stitches on the new valve didn't take, so one of the stitches broke open, and he had blood that was coming out, which could have been fixed, but he woke up and he told the doctor, well, the nurse that was in there, he said, something doesn't feel right. Is everything okay? And they said, oh, yes, everything's fine. And he just kept saying that he didn't feel right. And so they looked on his monitor, and his blood pressure was rising, which was from blood leaking out of his heart. And the nurse decided to do chest compressions, in which took all the blood out of his heart into his brain, which if this wouldn't have happened, they could have fixed his heart, but since he was brain dead, that was...
And he became brain dead because of the compression?
Because of the chest compressions, he was brain dead, so there was no brain activity. Although his body would have healed, he had no brain activity.
So, you weren't there when that happened?
I got the call that something had went wrong during the surgery, and that I needed to come right away.
Who told you?
His mom called.
And what was, like, your reaction when you got that phone?
She had called me and asked me if she could talk to my stepmom. And they had just met the night before, and so I knew something had to have been wrong. And so they took me into the garage where no one was, and I heard her say, something went wrong and I don't think he'll live. And I just remember falling to the floor, and I just didn't have any strength to stand.
So who was the first person that you called?
I had been talking to my aunt that day about what had happened, and I called her and told her that they didn't think he was going to make it. And she said that she didn't believe me because I was over dramatic. And then I called you, and you said the same thing. I was like, I need help. And no one. And then I have the help I needed. But I called my aunt.
So when did you get to the hospital?
I got the call. I don't remember what time it was. Everything was just so blurry. I got the call, and thankfully my cousin was there to watch my sisters, and so me and my stepmom got in the car and we left because he was in downtown Portland at a manual, and we were stuck in traffic for 2.5 hours. So I was just in the car, unknowing what was happening for 2 hours.
And what were you thinking, like, on the way to the hospital? Especially in the traffic.
I was just crying and talking to God and asking Him to keep me there.
And what was his, like, when you got to the hospital, what condition was he in?
He was unconscious.
And did that just, like, was that instant after you become, like, brain dead?
Yeah, he became brain dead after he woke up from the surgery, and they took him back into surgery. So when I got there, he was still in surgery, and they were bringing him up, and we kept getting updates. And we knew when we saw the doctor walking down the hallway with a box of Kleenex, we knew that good news was incoming. So he was in surgery, and he came up, and we got to see him. I got to see him 3 times.
Unconscious?
Unconscious.
And who was at the hospital? Like, who was all there?
All of his family, his mom, his dad, aunts and uncles, and siblings. And some members of the basketball team had been in Portland at a tournament, and they came, so it was Mr. Perkins and Skylar and Tyler with us.
Did they get to see him?
It was just me and his family that got to see him.
So what happened? So you saw him 3 times, 3 different
2 or
times?
3 times, yeah.
And, like, what happened? Like, did you just go into the hospital room, or, like, what?
Yeah, they had him in a hospital room on his bed, and the first time I went and saw him, it was right after he had gotten out of the second surgery, and when I walked in, he was covered in rags and covered in just hospital stuff, and I remember as soon as I walked in, his nose started gushing blood, and they had all of us leave because something had went wrong. And then we waited all night, and then the next morning, because he made it through the night, and then the next morning I got to see him for the last time.
And what was going through your mind when you had to say goodbye for the last time? Like, did you know it was the last time? Like, did they tell you?
Yeah. They had told us that we needed to go in and say our goodbyes. We're all given a small tile that we can place on him if he. And so I laid mine in the palm of my hand and held his hand and just loved him. I left before they took him off life support because I told his mom I couldn't watch him stop breathing.
But she was in the room?
Yeah. Me, his brothers and sister, brother and sisters, and his parents.
So where did you go after the hospital?
I stayed at the hospital for a while with his family after it had happened, and then my stepmom drove me to Lincoln City to pick you up.
And, like, what was, like, going through your head on the way to Lincoln City?
I was praying I would wake up. Just praying that it wasn't true.
And that was, like, how long did you stay in the hospital before you went? Like, was it immediately after, or, like...
I stayed in the hospital for a while. It's all just a blur, but I stayed there after it had happened. I stayed for a while, and I called my grandparents, and I just kind of told everyone, and I sat with them. There was like a room we were given, kind of like a living room, and we all sat in there and kind of talked. We all shared our favorite memory of him, and our favorite characteristic, or stuff like that. And then it came. So probably an hour or two later.
So it was pretty, like, immediate. So... I don't really want to ask this question, but I'm going to, because I know it'll be good for the story. But, like, what were his last words, like, to his family? Like, I know that he was saying that something didn't feel right, but, like, did he say something before he had to go back in the surgery?
His family didn't see him. When they walked in the room, the nurse was doing chest compressions. They didn't get to see him after he woke up. He just told the doctors that he was really scared and that he didn't feel right. And then as she started doing chest, like, more blood was leaking out of his heart, so he kept saying, I can't see anymore. I can't see. I need help, because the blood had been rushing to his brain. He couldn't see.
So it's all internal bleeding. So, like, but were there... So you just, like, stopped seeing?
And because the blood was rushing to his brain, so it was losing. I know they talked to him before he went in for the initial surgery. They told him that they loved him and all that.
Was he scared beforehand?
No. He was never scared of surgeries. He wanted his mom to make sure that she told me that it took them 3 times to get the IV in because he needed person. So he wanted to make sure he did that.
So, and you were living in Portland at the time?
I had just recently moved, like 2 days ago.
So, how was it, like, it must have been hard in Portland, like, how was that, like, not knowing or anything?
Well, I didn't start school because it was winter break when I moved there. And so it was just like a few days into winter break and then it was winter, so I didn't have to go to school during that time for another few weeks.
I had a good question, but I just forgot. I get that. I swear to you.
I hope that's okay.
What?
I said I hope that's okay.
It's not, but I swear if it wasn't recorded.
It wasn't recorded.
It should have been. Let me just check the iPhone too. Okay. Yeah, that's still recording. Yeah. I just have to start it over. Like, it was probably recording, it just turns off or something. Okay. Okay, so how was Taft supporting you through this tragedy? Like, was there anything that Taft?
I know they helped his mom, and they did give a lot of support. There was assembly held for him. I wasn't able to attend, but I know that helped a lot of students. Some maybe a year later they started the surf club in his name for him, which he had always wanted. I know they were very supportive. So a few months after it happened, they let me attend the winter carnival to be with my friends.
That was just a few months after. That's cool. Was there a certain point, like, in your life where you realized that your life was now, like, completely different without him?
The day it happened, I knew everything was about to change. It's hard going from having your entire life planned out to not knowing what you want to do in life, not wanting to wake up.
And what was everyday life like right after it happened? Like, what was, like, if you want to walk me through your day?
Slow and gloomy. I was at a new school. When you go to a new school, you're supposed to be excited, and you're supposed to go, and you're supposed to make new friends, and even at lunchtime when I was supposed to, hey, can I sit with you guys? It was just a struggle for me even to get the words out because I was just in no place to be happy or to make new friends, and so it was really hard.
Did you go to school, like, after break was over, or did you take more time?
No, I went to school right after break.
So what is your relationship with his family like now?
Me and his mom talk almost on a daily basis. She's one of my best friends. We've really helped each other get through all of it.
And have you guys, like, seen each other after, or?
Yes. In May, after it happened, she took me to Hawaii. We spent 2 weeks in Hawaii, and then she moved to Hawaii a week after that. And she's come up a few times, and I've seen her when she's been.
So do you ever feel, like, sorry for yourself or wonder, like, why me?
Well, the thing is, like, if I didn't want this to happen, that would mean I never got to be with him. And so, if I had to choose not feeling this pain or not being with him, I'd choose this pain because the happiness he brought me it can't be compared.
So do you feel like you're living the same life as everybody else, like every other teenager here at Taft?
Not necessarily. I feel like I had to grow up a little quicker, and I had to for me, it's not just having a winter formal date or just liking someone because they have a good personality. There's a lot more emotions behind it.
So what exactly got you through, like, those dark and gloomy days that you were talking about?
God. I was baptized just after it happened, and it really made my relationship with God a lot stronger because if I didn't believe in a higher power, then where was he? And so I'd always been Christian, but this kind of just made me so much stronger in my religion. Closer to God. I got to talk to him. I talk to God on a daily basis still, and he really helped me give me the strength to continue.
So were you baptized because you think that's what Joe wanted you to do, or, like, why? What was your motivation to get baptized right afterwards?
It wasn't right afterwards. It was probably 3 months later, and it was just I felt so strong in my religion. That was really getting me through, and I just felt like it was something I needed to do because I had never been. So it was just kind of an inner feeling that I wanted to do it.
So, and this is a question that I know you might not be able to answer right now, but are there, like, Bible verses that had helped you through that, like, that stuck out to you, or that's, like, some of your favorite Bible verses?
I love reading the red word because it's what Jesus said. I love reading just kind of the stuff about heaven and learning about that because it makes me feel so much more confident that Joe's okay and that he's happy. I don't remember the number, but in Hebrews,
Did you ever have, like, doubts in God afterwards because of what had happened to you?
You always have those, like, right after it happened, I always had those thoughts in my head, like, like, why is this happening? Why would you let this happen? But, just the faith and the strength and the light from God just kind of overshadowed those doubts and those thoughts.
So who are your closest friends here at Taft?
I have a really good circle of friends. Do you want the names? Just all my friends here have been really supportive, and they always understand. When I'm ready to talk, they're always there, even though I'm not very good at it.
So is there any, like, specific things that they've done that helped you through this?
It's kind of hard to ask them for specific things when I don't know what I need. I think that's my problem. They always want to make me feel better, but I don't even know what will make me feel better. So just their friendship and their smiles and making me laugh is what's
And have you, like, grown close with Joe's friends?
Yeah. Some of them, Philip and Andy have been a really big support. Kind of closer than I have been. Skylar and Tyler have all been really great support. And yeah, I'm a lot closer to them. It's nice being with someone who understands who is going through the same things.
What about your family? Did they help a lot, or what was their reaction to this, like, whole experience?
I think everyone's reaction was kind of shocked, disbelief in the beginning, but everyone's been a really big support, just kind of walking with me day by day, because each day's a process, and they're always there when I need to talk, or a shoulder rub, or just to be left alone.
So the next question is the one that you weren't sure about. Do you want me to ask? What is everyday life for you now, 2 years later?
It's still hard. I think sometimes I get into a little bit of a denial phase. That's not very good. I get into this, oh, I'm fine. I just go day to day. I go to school, work, I go to sleep. And it's easy to continue on every day, but when, Mr. Dressler walks by and he's wearing the shirt that says Joe for the dates on the back, it kind of hits me. Oh, it's actually real. And like, if I don't think that it happened, like my mind kind of sees it as it didn't, and then when you see something like that, it kind of just hits you all over again. Grief is kind of like the ocean, and I'm just standing at the beach, and each wave comes at different times. Each wave hits me a little harder. So time helps because it's not so recent, and you don't have all those people, oh, I'm so sorry, although it's nice and I appreciate it, it doesn't help. And so it's easier after time, but it's still hard because you think back, it's even 2 years. You get afraid that you're gonna forget the sound of his laugh, or just things like that.
That was a good quote. I didn't write it down. It's okay. That's why we have cameras. So now that you're back at Taft, how does, like, Taft help you today? Like, the atmosphere, not just the people, like, Taft itself.
It's kind of nice being in a familiar surrounding, and it's hard at the same time because you walk by and you see his old locker and you're like, oh, that's where he used to park his car, or stuff like that. But at the same time, it's really comforting just seeing those places.
So you got a tattoo or something?
I did.
It's of the waves. So how does that represent Joe? Do you want to show us?
Sure.
At the end, you can show the camera.
I'll show the camera at the end. For me, it was, I kind of battled back and forth in my mind of what I wanted as a tattoo. Do I want our favorite quote? Do I want, his name? What do I want? What do I want to resemble him? Do I want from, like, verses from our songs? Or, it's just kind of like an inner battle. And when you have all those things, it's something I have to explain, and I don't mind explaining, but it's just for me, it wasn't about showing other people, it was just remembering myself. So when I have these waves on my shoulder, I remember all the times we walked on the beach not so simple. I get to remember the good times. For me, it was just the perfect tattoo.
So, what were Joe's future aspirations? Like, what did he want to do after high school?
He wanted to surf. He always wanted to help people. He was such a giver. I know he said that for our honeymoon, he wanted to go to a third world country and teach little kids how to surf. And so he wanted to travel a lot. He wanted to see new things. He wanted to surf new waters. He wanted to see it.
And what were your guys' future aspirations together?
We had planned on moving to Hawaii after graduation. After I graduated, he would move there first since he was a year older than me, and I would join him to go to college there. And we were gonna grow happily ever after.
Did he want a family?
He did. We both wanted kids. We kind of decided that we would be married for a while first. They'd give us time to be together and give us time to travel and see the world before we had kids. And so we were gonna have kids later on in our marriage.
So, after everything now, what are your own future aspirations as of today?
They'll probably change tomorrow, but as of today, I want to be a missionary before college, and I want to help people just the way he did, kind of live our plans by myself, make sure that I did everything that we were supposed to do, and he would be great.
Is there anything? Oh, I did have one more. Did he have? Do you know, like off the top of your head, what his favorite Bible verses were?
I don't remember his favorite Bible verses. I can barely remember mine. It's just we loved them all, and we just talked about God and how happy we were, and it was just kind of like an overall thing. I don't remember talking about favorite verse.
Like how prominent was God in your guys' relationship, or was it just like you both knew that you loved God, or?
We both came into the relationship as very much believers, and we loved God, and we kind of made that as the base of our relationship. We had agreed to wait until marriage, and it was just kind of the foundation of our relationship was God.
Is there anything else you want to add to the story or the?
I know that for him, he didn't believe in marriage. I actually didn't know this. He had told his mom when I wasn't there that he never even considered marriage until he met me. And the day he met me, he knew that he had to believe in it. And on our first date, he told me that marriage was the leading cause of divorce. And he was just so funny. And after when I wasn't there, he told his mom that he had never considered marriage until
Let me go back through and see if I.
Do you have any questions?
Trying. No, I think everything else I can get off. Sure, there's nothing else I want to say? I don't know.
If there's more, I can tell you that story.
I don't know, just anything on camera. We'll have to send it to his mom. Well, I only cried.
Oh, do you want to put the tattoo?
This thing pisses me off. I
good. You're still recording. That's the tattoo we're talking about. Okay, we're done.